Dear students, this lecture is devoted to discussing the philosophy of the Middle Ages in the West. We will try to draw attention to the main features of philosophy during this period. The formation of the philosophy of the Middle Ages owes to the birth of Christianity. But directly, the formation of philosophical thought in the Middle Ages, the history of philosophy is associated with 4–15 centuries. Researchers have different assessments of the philosophy of the Middle Ages. Some argue that there was no philosophy proper during this period. One way or another, but most importantly, philosophy was really under the rule of the church during this period. Hence the main feature of medieval philosophy, theocentrism. According to Christian dogma, God created the world out of nothing, created by the influence of His will. Thanks to His omnipotence, which at every moment preserves and supports the existence of the world. This worldview is a characteristic of medieval philosophy and is called creationism. The philosophy of the Middle Ages was born and developed in the fight against ancient thinking. At one time, ancient philosophy offered a wide range of completely different thoughts. But since Christianity became the official religion of the Roman Empire, the status of the Church has become absolute. And in order to establish the authority of the Church, it was important to suppress various ancient philosophical schools. Despite the fact that the philosophy of the Middle Ages is almost monotonous, several periods are distinguished in it: apologetics, patristics, and scholasticism. The formation of the philosophy of the Middle Ages is associated with apologetics. The meaning of this term is protect. What and from whom to protect? Apologetics defended Christian dogmas from the attacks of ancient philosophers. The main representatives of the philosophy of apologetics, Tertullian, Origen, Hippolyte, and another. The most important purpose of man during this period was faith, belief. Many of the principles of early Christianity were unfounded. They were incomprehensible to most. As a rule, ancient philosophers often ridiculed the first Christian thinkers. On the other hand, apologetics believed that faith is the main weapon of man, and despite the fact that many religious thoughts cannot be explained reasonably. Religious faith is salvation for man. The teaching of the Church Fathers is called patristics. Patristics were engaged in the philosophical justification of Christian doctrine. In the history of philosophy, this concept is used to refer to Christian theology and philosophy. If in the beginning it is necessary to defend the Christian doctrine against pagans, thus government and ancient philosophy, then later patristics, on the contrary, takes and adapt to Neoplatonism and use its philosophical foundations to justify Christianity. Outstanding representatives Aurelius Augustine, John Damask, George Palamas, and another. The concept of school is associated with the teaching of the scholastics, that is, to teach philosophy. A prominent representative, Thomas Aquinas, Pierre Abelard, William Ockham, Duns Scotus, and another. Scholasticism is a type of philosophism in which the minds of the human mind are trying to substitute the ideas and formulas taken on truth. In scholastic philosophy, they rely on the principles of Aristotelianism, use it to strengthen their position. And so, summing up, we can note that the Western philosophy of the Middle Ages is very specific. During this period, there is a struggle between faith and reason. The period of Middle Ages is often called the dark time. During this period, the authority of the Church was unlimited, thinking differently from what the Church suggests was considered decent. Dear student, thank you for attention. We can discuss in more detail about the philosophy of this period in practical classes. Goodbye.